Hello and welcome back to another episode of Baseball Night. I'm your host, Tom Brown, joined as always by my brother, Jack. Jack, we have now had a full week of baseball since... since opening day was 1 week ago today.
Yeah, we went through the rotation. We've gone through the whole rotation. Speaking
of that, you were at back-to-back opening days, one for the Boston Red Sox and then one for the Worcester Woo Sox? Is the Woo Sox their name? Or are they the Worcester?
No, it's just a nickname. They're the Worcester Red Sox.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Shouts to my buddy Mike Lawton, who went ahead and got the Woo Sox Twitter handle years before it actually happened, and he got to negotiate some rights or some privileges, I should say, to give that up. So good for him. But Jack, talk about the opening days.
Well, Boston's opening day was far more fancy than Worcester's opening day.
Both Ortiz was at both, though.
Yeah, he was. Real surprise guest in Worcester. Very jealous of the kids from North High, who not only won the state championship, but then got to meet Poppy on the field. But it was great. You literally can't do anything to beat the excitement of opening day. It is just fun. It's a bunch of people who, and to be honest, not a lot of high expectations for this team, but a lot of people were excited to go there and just have baseball back. And Fenway is still Fenway, man. It's still cool to go there and watch baseball be played there. Everything else surrounding it, pricing and all the building that they should do to make the seats, face the field. But it's still awesome. Love it.
Yeah, I went to a couple, I think 2012 and 2013, and those were complete opposite seasons. One team finished horribly in last place, and one team won the World Series. So,
a
lot
of conversation before the game in the dugout, which is the nice little establishment right across the street, was that the hopes were this would turn into some kind of 2013 team and catch lightning in a bottle. But yeah, those were definitely two different teams.
So to catch lightning in a bottle, Jack, the starting pitching might have to change. So we are 6 games into the season, and let me just run through some starting pitching numbers for you. 1-4 record in 25 innings. 4.6 walks per 9 innings, 4.6 home runs per 9 innings. 1/3 of the fly balls go out of the baseball field, out of the park. They have an ERA of 8.53, and Fangraphs has this stat, which is FIP, which is fielder independent pitching. For those listeners, it takes completely everyone but the pitcher out of the equation, and it's basically that the ERA calculated by that. That is currently sitting at 9.2. And then their Fangraphs WAR is -1. So starting pitching has cost them a game. I would say it's cost them about 4 games, but that's a horse of a different color.
Well, for sure. They are not facing juggernaut offenses either. I think the Orioles,
the Astros.
I think the Orioles are better offensively than people give them credit for. I don't think that way of the Pittsburgh Pirates, but it's just, and you had sent a text that, O'Brien had said it. Alex Cora said it. I can't believe the ball's flying out of Fenway like this early in the season. When you throw 93-mile-an-hour fastballs right down the middle to major league teams, the ball is going to jump off the bat regardless. The wind has done more to keep the ball in the ballpark than any pitcher has in Fenway, because the other night, Andrew McCutchen hit a rocket to right field that got knocked down and would have been another first-inning home run.
Yes, it is. It's incredible. I shared some visuals on my Twitter account at Tom John Brown too, John with an H, and they are middle fastballs. Chris Sale's was up middle, and down middle. Yeah. Like the other ones you saw, with whether it be Kluber or Cutter Crawford, they were in the zone, but not middle, still in the zone. Sales were middle. And
Yeah, out of everybody, Chris Sale um is the most worrisome.
mhm, mhm.
Because not only was I mean, he had a bunch of strikeouts to go with the runs he gave up. But he's not nearly missing the caliber bat that he should. He's striking out the hitters that, aren't driving the ball, but anybody with some pop in that lineup has seemed to be getting the barrel on the ball. And he doesn't look good at all. He had one good wipeout slider, I think, in that whole game. But it's scary to think like he's going against the Tigers today at 1. It's going to be cold. It's a day game. I don't know. I'm not I'm not looking forward to watching him pitch today.
Neither am I.
And again, they started against the Orioles, Pirates, and Tigers. That is a pretty good way to run up your season, to run up some wins. I feel like if the Tampa Bay Rays started this, they're already 6-0. They would start at 9-0 or 10-0.
Yeah. They also, so the Sale game it got overlooked by Adam Duvall just crushing.
Yeah, it sure did.
It
Most of the opening, most of how badly they played in the opening series was overshadowed by Adam Duvall.
Yes. The Sale thing, he makes $30 million. We've discussed this. We've talked about it. It's getting to a point where he's not a starting pitcher anymore.
No, yeah, you're right. It's getting to,
do we move you to the bullpen so you can just go max for an inning as a lefty?
Yeah. Yeah, that worked great in the 9th inning of the 2018 World Series.
Yeah, it's like he can keep saying, like, I've never been more embarrassed on a baseball field. He can keep saying all this stuff, but if he keeps going out there and giving up 7 runs, you have to make a decision.
Yeah. Not only that, he's getting into Chris Davis territory where he makes too much money to move him to the bullpen. He makes way too much money to play in Worcester. So it's basically like trotting him out there every 5 days to watch him throw 93 down the middle. Because even when he was pissed and he gave up that home run to Mountcastle, I think it was, he reared back and threw 97 to the next batter.
Right. And
which, great. If you can sustain 97, that's great. But he can't if he's pissed. And the next pitch was 94 and sent to the back wall in center field.
Yeah, Uke was like, oh, yeah, and now he's pitching mad. And it's like, okay, great for 3 pitches. And I just don't get...
Overall, the only guy who looked like he had any bit of stuff was Tanner Houck. Right. And even he got roughed up a little bit.
I think he let up, 2 home runs? But
yeah,
he got out of there giving up 3 runs, which is fine with me for a starting pitcher. The other guys, I don't think it's fair for Cutter Crawford a little bit. I think he kind of got the shaft because I think he can be an effective reliever.
Yeah.
But
I do too. Not a back end of the bullpen guy, but definitely somewhere in the middle to give you some innings for sure.
Right. When Chris Sale goes out in the 3rd.
Or when he's out with an injury in May.
Yeah.
But yeah, even, and I get that a lot, and I actually don't get why a lot of people out here like him. Nick Pivetta does absolutely nothing for me. Listen, I'm sure he's a great person, but the way he pitches, man, he is in the zone pretty much all the time. And not like throwing strikes and getting ahead. He is getting hit hard in the zone. And if he's pitching to contact, he should stop.
Yeah, he's Canadian. People like him. He's a nice Canadian boy. Okay. Well, but again, just the thing about Pivetta for me is in his first 2 years with the Red Sox, he made 31 and 33 starts. Or 30 and 33 starts, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
His ERA has been 4.5 both times. But last year he gave you 180 innings. That's fine for your 4 or 5 guy. the problem is they're expecting him to be a little more than that, which I like him as a 4 or 5 guy, but not better than that. So if you can tell me eventually it will settle where I can see it go Whitlock, Houck, Bayo, then Pavetta, I'm fine with that. But I need you to stop. What I need is you to stop telling me the injured veterans in Sale, Paxton, and Kluber are gonna help.
Yeah.
That's what I need that to stop.
Yeah. Well, the James Paxton thing is hilarious that people think he's going to give anything. If he comes out and strikes out one batter, people will say like, "Oh, Paxton's back," and it's no, it's not. He's not back.
He did that.
He has never pitched.
He did that in spring training and then was hurt in the second inning.
Yeah, he's never pitched for the Red Sox, so that's what I look at with James Paxton. They're the 5 guys that they have, and I mean I know Whitlock is going to factor into this sooner rather than later, and he's going to be so welcome because he pitched well when I saw him in Worcester. It was great. But man, as of right now, you can't do anything without starting pitching, regardless, especially in this division. And I know they're playing the division less times this year, but if you're starting each game in a 3-0 hole, you're going to lose a lot more than you're going to win.
That's 100% true. They have given up runs in, I think, 4 of the 6 first innings so far. Is that accurate? I believe
that is accurate.
So, just to quote, that's not what you want. Aaron Boone said that once, and it's not what you want.
And we hardly ever quote Aaron Boone on the show.
Oh my God, they gave up. It's just ridiculous. It's. I'm like
Tom is real time scanning the box score.
Okay, so it's half. It's half the games they've given up a run.
Oh yeah, because Pavetta and Kluber both got out unscathed. Yeah, that's right.
So it's the thing we've been seeing the past couple of years with this team, where then it's like, well, Schreiber, he hasn't been that good. The bullpen's been this, the bullpen's been that, but they're coming in the 4th inning of every game. So what are you going to do? True. That's not fair to the bullpen arms. And then we're shitting on them and saying, well, they're not effective. They don't have a good bullpen, but they're not starting in the 6th inning or the 7th inning.
No kidding. A guy like John Schreiber is probably going to have 100 to 110 appearances this year, which is not going to be great for John Schreiber.
That's 40 too many.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I love the additions at the back end of their bullpen.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Martin and Kenley Jansen have been great and fun to watch, but I don't know how many saves Kenley Jansen is going to get, or even how many save opportunities, because it looks like they're always going to be having to bat in the bottom of the 9th, or having to bat to put something together in the 8th or 9th inning.
Yeah, it's just everything, not just our podcast, but every Boston person, fan, writer, everyone said all spring training is a lot of questions with pitching. And it's true. It's just come to light. Mm-hmm. Then on the other end of the spectrum, every time they've gotten down, the team is, except against the last 2 games against the Pirates, they've fought back. The team came out swinging, which was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, sure.
Which it sucks to think that if they just had 6 innings of a starting pitcher giving up 3 runs, how much they would be up by in all these games.
Yeah, it is. I think that you said it, almost directly on the nose, where you said they came out swinging. I almost think that because they came out swinging in the fashion they did, A lot of that was them really running into some stuff. Um, I don't think that any player has shown a good approach at the plate. I think that they are trying to make something happen. And I think that now, in the Pirates series, you're seeing more missed bats than you were these big shots in the gap and in home runs. They were very hot, 9 runs a game against the Orioles. Or I think it was 9, 9, and 7 or something like that. But I then going to the Pirates, they're having the same at bats. They're not walking a lot, with the exception of Justin Turner. And now they're swinging and missing. I mean, for a guy like Tristan Casas, who we talked about all spring, having this unbelievable approach at the plate that seems to be the same every single time. I have not seen him take one of those at bats into the regular season yet. The only guy that's consistently hitting the ball hard almost every time he's up is Rafael Devers, which is terrific to see. And then I think Adam Duvall is going to regress back, to the mean. But yeah, I as much as they overperformed in the first 3 games, I unfortunately don't think I'm fooled at all by that run outburst. They're having bad at bats.
Yeah, I think that point you just made is the perfect example of facing the Orioles and the Pirates. Because when you face, God damn, I watched Aaron Nola versus Garrett Cole yesterday. Garrett Cole might strike out 17 of these guys with the current approach.
He looks really nasty.
So Nestor Cortez, every single pitcher on the Rays.
Shane McClanahan, yeah.
I mean,
it's going to be a problem all year long.
Again,
I mean, they made Mitch Keller look like a Cy Young winner.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Right now,
they were having the same at bats. They were having the same at bats versus the Orioles. They were swinging early in the count, but they were hitting balls out of the yard and off the monster. Masataka Yoshida and Tristan Casas seem to be trying to hit home runs over the bullpen every single time they're up, which is a terrible approach, because the thing that made David Ortiz one of the greatest hitters in Red Sox history is taking the ball off the monster and trying to do that at every plate appearance. Which it just looks like they got away from it. Every time Yoshida swings, it looks like he is stepping in the bucket, like behind himself, getting way out in front and trying to rip the ball down the line.
Yeah, I think he is definitely just trying to do too much.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. He loves the crowd, man. The crowd loves him too, but
I don't know if I'm sold on the Yoshi chance. I think they're totally under.
He's actually
Macho Man, which that's his name.
I thought he said it was he wants people to chant Masa instead of Yoshi, but
I think he likes being. It's like me, instead of going by Thomas, going by Tom. I think that's why OB is calling him Masa, which is sure, that's your name. I'm all for it. But I think the Macho Man, he should come up with the graduation theme. There should be Macho Man, like Yaz all the time. Mm-hmm. I think they're just totally missing it, the point here. But not everyone grew up watching the WWF. So, and then Casas, yeah, I think he gets swept up in the moment a little bit.
That's for sure what's happening.
It's funny though.
That is for sure what's happening. He looks like he's pressing. He doesn't even look like the same player from his last spring training game, where he would go up there and I'll take 5 pitches. I don't care. I'm not swinging this bat. It's just, I think he's trying to whip the crowd into a frenzy. And I don't know. I think that they ran into balls against the Orioles that they didn't run into against the Pirates, while having the same approach, which is just swing as hard as you can and rope this fucker.
Yeah, right now they're walking 8% of the time and striking out 20% of the time. That's not great. I'm trying to find their fly ball home run rate, which is usually like, oh, there it is, batted ball. It's usually, yeah, 12% of their fly balls are being turned into home runs, which is kind of not what you want. I mean, it is what you want, but it gets everyone thinking, let's mash. Let mash on that ass. So I agree.
Yes.
It's not great. And it's this same thing. It's like Groundhog Day. I feel like Ned Ryerson's coming up, needle nose Ned every day. Kike Hernandez takes these hell hacks, and then he runs into two, and people lose their mind. And then you're like, can we watch the rest of the at bats where he's taking the same swing and it's not happening. He did hit a Coke bottle blast. They got to bring the Coke bottles back.
Yeah. I've said I've said all I've needed to say about Kike Hernandez. That's exactly what kind of player he is. Every single time is a giant uppercut swing so he can try to hit it onto Lansdowne Street. Yeah, he's gonna do it. Yeah, he's gonna do it sometimes. But if anybody is there thinking, oh, here he comes, this is the year, you're wrong. You're not correct. I'm sorry. I love it. I love it to be, but that's just not going to happen.
One thing I do want to say about this season and Kike Hernandez so far. The lineup, he's where he should be. He's 7 or 8.
Yeah. Eight or nine. He's only 8. He's only not 9 when Connor Wong's in there.
So I have been asking myself, I'm stopping people down at the local grocer saying, hey, why did they move Alex Verdugo from the leadoff spot after he was really, really good at it in 2020? No one knows the answer. The cashiers are saying, I don't know what you're saying to me. Stop talking to me.
Please, there's a line.
You're holding up the line. You've been talking about this for 30 minutes now. But it made no sense. Alex Verdugo gets traded here. You're like, wow, this guy's pretty good. He's not Mookie Betts, but he's pretty good. And he's a good spot here in the top of the order. They put him back there. He's been doing fine.
Yeah. He actually does look good. He's swinging the bat well.
He's also moves the bat well. Kike Hernandez down to the 8 hole. And it's like, listen, if you're going to be the 8 hitter and hit 240 and just try and hit home runs and every now and then knock one out of the park, fine. But
yeah, if he hits 240, that's about 20 to 30 points higher than his career average. So I'd absolutely take that. We're looking at Mendoza line Kike Hernandez. If we're being perfectly honest, playing a below average shortstop.
I know.
Every time he throws the ball to first base, I think to myself, where is this going?
Have you noticed how sloppy the turns seem?
Even my God, it's horrible.
Who's a second baseman? I'm like, this doesn't match up.
Horrible. He's not a good second baseman.
Yeah, it's not good there.
No, the middle defense is horrible. They haven't. I know we're going to talk about this when we get to the MLB portion of the show. They haven't thrown out a runner yet. They haven't thrown out a base runner to an attempted steal. I don't understand what the value of Reese McGuire is. He's not a good catcher. He does not have an arm, and he can't hit.
Yeah, let's just bring up Aquaman if we're
Alfaro.
If we're just gonna punt on stolen bases.
They have one of the best defensive catchers of all time in their dugout. He must be losing his mind when watching these guys just walk to second base. That is, I didn't even like the actual 100% stolen base rate against the Red Sox. That's not a made up number. It is 100%. Because neither Wong or McGuire can throw a runner out. And, spoiler it, neither one of them can hit either.
Yeah.
It's a tough start. I mean, I think the 2 games that they won were, again, them running into the ball and Adam Duvall batting 600. Just a note to everybody. Adam Duvall is not going to bat 600 throughout the season. He's also not going to bat. He's probably not even going to bat around 300. He'll probably run into 30 or 35 home runs, maybe, just with that swing for the Green Monster. But man,
that's the appeal to him right now. Is just that right-handed full swing.
I think, unfortunately, they look a little worse than I thought going into the year.
But help's on the way. Garrett Whitlock's going to pitch Tuesday. Yeah, help's on the way.
That's right. Help's on the way.
But honestly, so you put Garrett Whitlock in, and I'd choose someone else, but they're going to replace Cutter Crawford, put him back in the bullpen. That's fine.
I mean, that's the move. That's the right move.
So now you have Whitlock, Houck, and Pivetta, who's going to be steady Eddie. Pivetta is going to get you a 4 to 4.5 ERA. You're just going to get it, and you're going to get 30 starts out of him, and that's that. So now we're talking Bayo at some point, who the problem is who do they have the stones to tell one of these veterans? Who are they going to move? I mean, what's going to happen is Kluber or Sale's going to get hurt. And then it's like, oh, great. Now we can put Bayo in. But it's not, to use the line from Mad Men, it's not great, Bob.
Yeah, it's, I mean, the Bayo thing, he's going to make another rehab start in Florida because nobody wants to mess with the cold weather up here. So, I mean, we're looking at maybe May, possibly June for Bayo to come up, which, I mean, I get that they don't want to take any time. And, at some point, too, they're going. I don't think they should. I don't think they really need it unless he just reverts back to form. They're going to put James Paxton in the rotation, too. So James Paxton's going to replace one of those guys.
He has to get cleared first. He has to stay healthy enough.
Either Bloom. Yeah. Well, I mean, sure. But that's it. When he is healthy, Alex Cora and Chaim Bloom are going to put him in the starting rotation.
Right.
There are no ifs, ands, buts about it. But and that for a guy like Bayo, you're like, all right, well, how many spots are there? Are they going to go to 6 guys in the rotation? Which is probably a thing from his Rays time that Chaim Bloom would, look into. I don't necessarily know what Cora thinks of a 6-man rotation.
I don't like taking.
They'll probably justify it with give a guy an extra day of rest because of all the injuries.
Yeah, I just don't like taking a day away from your 3 solid pitchers to appease one of those veterans that are often hurt and past their prime.
Oh yeah, I agree with you totally. Especially these guys are such creatures of habit that just saying like, we're going to go to a 6-man rotation. Y'all get an extra day off to fuck around. It's like, that's not going to help anybody. But yeah, it's the starting pitching is so bleak. And the only hope is Brian Bayo, who is rehabbing from forearm tightness, that they basically shut him down at the beginning of spring training. So they're taking their time with him, which I understand. But at the same time, you're gonna need him up here because Houck, Whitlock, Bayo sounds a hell of a lot better than Sale, Kluber, Paxton.
Not in 2014.
It's not 2014.
Oh yeah, it was 9 years ago. All right, Jack. Because of your tea time, we're going no breaks right into the MLB segment. Imagine that.
Opening day today.
Oh, opening day. We're at Berlin Country Club.
Cyprian Keys.
Wow. Oh, look at this big spender. Jeez.
All right. It's just my 3rd year as a member there. No big.
What?
No biggie.
Oh, Michael Jordan played there. You know that?
He did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember when it first opened, they made a big deal on the sign. They must have been playing the Celtics, the Bulls, because it was in the 90s that opened.
Yeah, 96.
I remember driving by. Oh, yeah, perfect. Ooh, what a time to catch the Bulls against the Celtics. They had a whole sign about Michael Jordan being there, and he played it. Oh, yeah, I remember it as a boy. But, Jack, Let's talk game time here.
Let's talk game time, Tom. Specifically, what you said. Say the stat you said about Sandy Alcantara's complete game shutout and how long that game went. A full baseball game.
It took an hour and 57 minutes.
Oh, less than the length of a feature film.
Oh, yeah. Well, then you better have an epic. If you're going over 2 hours, tell me a good story. I don't need you to draw shit out.
Dune.
But anyways,
Dune. We're talking Dune.
I'll sit.
Yeah.
I'll sit.
Yeah.
But can you imagine the Red Sox end a game? Here, let me paint you a picture. Garrett Whitlock throws a complete game shutout. The Red Sox win. Great. It's not even fucking 9:00 at night. I honestly wouldn't know what to do.
Talk about telling a story like Dune. A complete game shutout by a Red Sox starter.
Yeah. I'd be looking around like, do I go to bed now? This is kind of my routine. The Red Sox, who love to still just play 3-hour games.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because
when you give up 10 runs a game.
You would let's cut the 10-9 games to 5-4 and chop an hour off. But oh, what a beautiful thing. Shouts to X.
It is. Whatever, what is also great is you and I being such staunch subscribers to MLB TV, throwing on an Angels game at 10 o'clock at night and having that not go past, well, it usually does, have it go past a little past midnight. Just excellent. You're not staying up till 2 o'clock watching Shohei Ohtani pitch. It's fantastic. Who, by the way, Shohei Ohtani, under 1 ERA in the 18 innings he's pitched so far this year, or the 12 innings he's pitched so far.
Yeah, we could put it in this way. Still good.
Yeah.
Still
the real deal.
Make a lot of money.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they're all waiting for the starting pitching. Maybe they're just waiting to bring Ohtani in next year.
I'm not doing it. I'm not getting involved in that conversation. I'm not going to read about that conversation. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I
understand that. I am going to.
Well, Jack, you're only going to, you know what? Then you want yourself to have a broken heart.
When he's on the Dodgers next year. Yeah, I know.
Well, I'm ready to get hurt again.
Okay, but yeah, going back to it.
238 through the first week. That's how long games are.
And that's, again, with the Red Sox pumping that time frame up.
Yeah, but it's just like so nice to think like, oh, you know what? I didn't watch Manoah. I forget who he pitched against, but it was a pretty Greinke. I don't like Greinke that much, but still.
No. He got shelled.
Greinke
Manoah. Manoah's been having he's not been having a great start to the year.
Well, you're
we didn't touch on it. Oh, sorry.
My point was that it's nice to sit here, work from home. That really helps. But like I can pop that game on and it doesn't take my whole day to like rewatch it if I want to. Say any game throughout the year. Yeah. Go ahead. What were you going to say we didn't talk about?
The Verdugo Alex Manoah brewing beef. That's probably going to start some bad feelings. You hear what Verdugo said?
No.
It was last year. Manoah struck out a couple of guys, and he's like, Manoah's a big chest thumper.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, something like, yeah, that's right, or something like that as he struck him out, fired up. Mm-hmm. And Verdugo said on a podcast earlier this week, he's like, yeah, I just think that's bullshit. I just don't like it. He's not playing the game the right way. So,
wow.
I don't know, but Verdugo might see one in his ear hole.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good.
But I mean, I could take a rivalry to spice up some of these games because I think the Blue Jays are going to beat the Red Sox by 12 runs every game.
Wow. Well, I guess I looked it up as you were talking. He telling batters to go sit down.
Yeah.
That's spicy.
Yeah. I mean, that's when he struck him out though.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Kind of stuff.
But
it is spicy. But I mean, it
was also Franchi and Bobby Dahlbeck. So
I know the guys he's like defending are like, come on, man.
Oh, not even that. It's like feel that way after it's Devers or Bogarts, but Dahlbeck and Franchi, that's what they do.
They strike out quite a bit. even in their new homes. But yeah, I mean let's keep the game times down. We talked about it all off season. We talked about it all spring. It's now national media guys who have said for years that baseball is boring are coming back and being like, this is making it exciting again.
Mm-hmm.
Not having to sit there and watch a guy fiddle with his gloves and adjust his cup for a minute is really helping to keep the excitement and pace of like play up. I love it. I can't tell you how much I love it. I hope they don't do the same thing they did with the sticky shit and let it get kind of lax going forward. Because there was one Red Sox game where there were so many mound visits. I was like, they need to nip this in the bud right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Scherzer's always trying to manipulate it, but also like speaking out against it a little, saying he'd like him to turn it off if the pace of play remains the same if once people get into it. And he's like, just so games don't get decided. And I think it's going to be the opposite. I think people are going to get so used to it, violations just aren't going to happen unless you're being an asshole. If there's violations in June at the same rate as there are in April, I'd be shocked.
That's true. I mean, I think it was opening day, Devers struck out on a violation to end an inning.
It was you were there, so it was a little different on the broadcast.
Because it's weird. It's weird to see it in person.
Yeah,
because it's just like, wait, what? Oh, right.
The benefit of the replay, the pitcher wasn't set. Devers had two hands on the bat, was just like taking a deep breath.
And you got to be looking forward or something like that.
Yeah, and people were just like, well, that's kind of a gray area. That's a little unfair.
The Manny Machado one, however, did you see that?
Right. Yeah.
The Manny Machado, where he got ejected.
Time, right? No,
he was just standing in the box with it. Yeah, that was last night. Manny Machado had his bat under his shoulder, adjusting his gloves like it was last year.
Yeah,
at like 7 seconds, and they got called out on strikes. And then he Manny Machado'd it, where he just thought, no, I'm right, you're wrong, and the ump tossed him.
Yeah, get out of here. See you later. The other big thing that's been happening this year, Jack, is stolen bases. This is through the first week of the season.
God,
stolen bases
give me the numbers
up to 1.69 per game, and the success rate is there's 1.36 steals, like successful steals per game. And that equates to, through 91 games, same amount of time, there were 87 last year. It's 89 attempts in 2022. There's 154 in 2023. The success rate is up from 68.5 to 80.5. I'm going to be honest.
Awesome.
The 80.5 was lower than I anticipated, because I have seen one runner get thrown out. That's it.
Yeah. Right. It is actually lower. But it's going to do a couple of things. One, it's going to value speed. And it's going to put speed back like at the top of a lineup. Like now you're like, okay, speed actually does kill, because if you get a guy who can take second and even take third, you're talking about a guy who can walk into scoring position. Mm-hmm. The other thing that it's going to do, there are two more things I want to touch on. One, that I think it's going to also make defensive catchers more valuable. We just got done talking how Connor Wong and Reese McGuire haven't thrown out a runner yet. If you have a guy like Yadi Molina, he would have loved this rule, where all he did would just toss guys out at second base. I bet he would be, I mean, I know you can't throw over and check on a runner, and you can pretty much walk off the base to second, but it's going to put a lot more value in a defensive base catcher with a rocket arm, which I love to see. It's very exciting to see a guy get thrown out at second or third on a steal attempt. Almost as exciting to see. It just steals in general are exciting. The other thing that I think has been like long gone from baseball for a while that this is going to put back into play is we're going to see a 40-40 guy. Like we're going to see a 40-40 guy this year or next. And that is super exciting.
Yeah. Your boy, Trey Turner, maybe.
It could be Trey Turner. It could be my real boy, Tatis.
If Tatis does it after missing 20 games, That'd be
Tatis almost hit 40 home runs with missing like a month and a half once. So he's got like, I'm high on Fernando Tatis. An injury and some just straight up stupidity robbed a full year of his career last year, which sucks. But I'm excited to see what he can come back. Trey Turner is probably the leader for it because he'll have the full year, and I think he's way faster than Tatis. But then again, you might have a guy who run into somebody who could have a 50-50 year.
Yeah, and I think now this isn't a take. This was on the Athletic Baseball Show's bold predictions, where you just kind of make,
just that.
Eno Saris said, "Watch out for Ronald Acuna being a 50-50 guy." That was his like super bold prediction, and I was like, you forget about him because he tore his ACL and then was good to starting to get really good again by the end of the season last year. But he's really fucking good.
Yeah, actually, one of my favorite, going back to MLB TV and kind of off topic, one of my favorite teams to watch has been the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, they got it all.
Just throw on a Spencer Strider game. Come on.
Put it on the TBS Superstation and you got it. 7:00. We don't have Nesson, but the Braves are on.
Yep, Braves are always on.
Pedro Martinez, the height of his powers. We don't have Nesson, Dad. Yeah. Missed the Gerald Williams fight.
Yeah, it was easy when it was on UPN. Way back in the day, the old Sean McDonough days.
The last thing I want to bring up is on the other spectrum of pitching, the Tampa Bay Rays right now. Can I run through their pitching numbers? These are just their starters. 5-0, 10.69 Ks per 9 inning, 2.25 walks. Their home run per 9 and home run per fly ball rate is the exact same at 0. They have not let up a home run yet. 2.25 ERA. Gracious. Their FIP, again, no fielders involved, just the pitchers alone, is 1.58. It is the complete opposite. They're also 6-0. It is the complete opposite of your Boston Red Sox. And it has me rethinking my Yankees prediction for winning the division, because if no one can hit off of you, you're going to win games.
Yeah. Nobody can hit off them, and they are riding some serious Randy Arozarena and Wander Franco hot bats right now.
Franco, who hurt his hand or wrist last year, and now he's back healthy.
Yep. They are. I overlooked them too because I picked the Yankees, who aren't. It's not like the Yankees are playing bad, but yeah, the Rays look untouchable right now in almost every facet. They're so much better defensively than most other teams, and that like really makes a difference. The other night, Adam Duvall, there was a homer to center field, the opposing bullpen in center. Right center field.
Talking about. I know exactly where you're going with this.
And the way Adam Duvall approached the wall, it looked like the wall was had one of those jackass hands to come out and slap him. He looked so nervous in that triangle.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to.
You can tell that's going to be a problem for the rest of the year. He started hitting the warning track and realized oh, that's right. It's not like this nice round circle for most ballparks. There's a weird triangle here, and he looked. I mean, I'm not going to say that he could have jumped up, reached over, and grabbed that ball, but as soon as he got close to the wall, he gave it no effort.
Yeah, Coco Crisp,
and that just doesn't happen with the Rays.
Coco Crisp ran right into that shit to win Game 7 of the ALCS in 2007.
Yeah, I remember that. I was going to say I was there, but I was at Game 2 of that series.
I want to finish this podcast. Oh, before I go 3-0 in your stump game, I just want to name this baseball player through 6 games. Sorry. Okay. 3 doubles, 3 home runs, 7 RBI. And he is slash lines. It's not the right time to do it. Obviously, we're a week in, but slashing 409, 440, 955. Can you name that player?
Okay. 3 doubles, 3 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that is my boy CJ Crown.
You're wrong. It is Xander fucking Bogaerts, Jack.
Ah,
Fuck.
damn it. I have yet to send a group message saying, does anybody see how good Bogarts is playing in the first week of
Jesus
the year?
Christ. All right. Well, they also traded Mookie Betts.
He is yeah. He's raking.
He's very good at
Like,
baseball.
I remember saying in the World Baseball Classic, I stayed up late to watch a Netherlands game where he homered and he went 3 for 3. And I said, this dude already looks like it's midseason form. And luckily for the Padres, because nobody else on that team has really like clicked in yet. But man,
God damn.
what a damn start to the year.
Mookie,
All
also
right,
very
Tom.
good. Okay.
Yeah, that's getting redundant, but yeah.
Well, it's gonna be redundant because I'm gonna say it until I die.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right, Tom. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm fired up now.
The MVP of this season, the National League MVP of this season, Mr. Cub himself, Ernie Banks.
Okay.
The American League MVP, Boston's own Jackie Jensen.
Okay.
Some other things here. The Cy Young winner, again, this was when they only did one Cy Young winner for the majors, was the New York Yankees' Bob Turley.
That does not help.
He also finished second in the AL MVP. And this, I don't want to give you this hint because I think it might help you.
Please.
Both the Dodgers and the Giants moved to California in this season.
That was 19.
Got the first half right.
I'm surprised. Hold on. I'm seeing the graphic on Ken Burns baseball of all the teams.
Yeah, that's how I tap into it too.
The Dodgers won the World Series in 1955. They weren't very good in 1956. Buzzy Bavasi was like, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm going to say the year our parents were born in 1958.
3-0, Tommy Brown. Good job. I knew that would do it. Just some other stats here, because it was actually a pretty great baseball year. St. Louis's Stan Musial becomes the first player since Paul Wainer to collect 3,000 hits. Roy Campanella, career ended when he was paralyzed in a car accident. Gold Glove selections are made for the first time in each league. And Ted Williams led the league in hitting at 328 at aged 40.
Guy could hit.
Oh, damn, what a player. Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays had amazing years as well, because it was when they were at the height of their powers in 1958. And the Yankees won the World Series. So great job, Tommy Brown.
I was gonna wait for you to say
3-0.
I was gonna, maybe need to get to the World Series, but I had the 50s in mind. Yeah. And I was like, well, it's not going to help because the Yankees probably won. That's just going to do nothing for me.
They did a lot of winning.
All right.
I knew it was going to be the New York teams going to California.
Oh yeah, and then I knew I was going to have trouble with 57 and 58. That's where the trouble was, but I just read a book about about
librarian over here.
Yeah, called The Lords of the Realm, and it's about the owners and how ownership was Not great, it turned out, for the first 100 years of Major League Baseball.
I'm reading the Big Poppy autobiography because I saw him in Worcester. And
Who wrote it?
Him and Michael Hawley.
Kidding, you said autobiography. It was a joke.
Oh.
That's a deep cut for my fans on the line. All right, Jack.
Wow,
go warm up your back. Opening day at Cyprian Key is probably gonna be crowded. Do you get is there like a buffet or something?
No. Shout out to Karen Chiogly, who runs the catering and restaurant over there. But
oh shit, really?
Oh yeah. No, restaurant's still closed. Yeah, we both did. Yeah.
What are the member benefits? Do you have a polo?
No, there aren't many member benefits other than I don't have to pay when I go there. So
I mean, that's probably the biggest one. But yeah,
you got to do it up front.
Can you give me a ballpark of how many times you have to go for it to make sense?
20 times.
That's doable.
Yeah. Oh, I'll get that out of the way by the middle of May.
Wow. Jesus.
I live less than a mile.
And you still can't break 100. All right, Jack. Well, good luck this year.
That's bullshit.
Break 100. We're really pulling
if you cut this out, if you cut my end of this out of the podcast.
All right, I'll see you.
Bye, Tom.